Stand by, Senator. Remember, on this record, we're trying to answer Senator McKinley's hit record, and George, you have a word here.
Right, Senator, this one's for the Democrats, so let's really hear it.
All right, I think I'm about as ready as I'm ever going to be.
Okay, stand by. This is Wild Thing, take 72, Senator.
Hey DC, this is Ron. Thank you for joining me for another video. I've got some recent finds today. I went to the record store yesterday and they just got in this big haul of old records, so I got quite a few of those. And before I get going into that, I want to do a shout out, and here it is.
A Wild Thing, I Think I Love You.
It's for Tim Allen, and no, not the home improvement guy. He's a record geek just like us, and I checked his channel out a while back, and I told him I was going to do a shout out. I know a lot of my subscribers have already been watching him. Pretty cool guy, very knowledgeable. He's a big Beatle fan. He shows his garage. He likes the real obscure genres of music. He recently showed a big thrift store find that he made, and he had all kinds of different things in that. So if you're into that sort of thing, you know, where you like incredibly strange music, genres that aren't, you know, of the normal variety, check this guy out, Tim Allen. Okay, I want to give an update on, hey, that's enough Senator Bobby doing a Wild Thing. I mean, you know, he tried to be a rock star back in the 60s, and I think he was probably better off in politics. So let's turn Senator Bobby off.
That's it. Bear down.
Okay. I want to talk about a couple of albums that I showed in my last video, and this is one of them. It's Crazy Elephant. I had a chance to listen to this, and side one has got a lot of heavy organ in it, kind of a soul, R&B type style. I think they overdid the organ a little bit too much, but once you start getting into side two, they let up on the organ and it gets a little more like punky soul rock, and it's really cool. And there's a song on here called Higher and Higher, and actually what it is, it's the song Try It by the Standells with different lyrics, and they do this heavy fuzzed out version of it. This is really cool. So yeah, you can pick these up real clean on eBay for like about 20 bucks, and I definitely recommend you get this. Very fun album. And this other one that I wanted to show, it's The Family Dog, A View from Roland's Head. And I've had a chance to listen to this whole thing, and it really wasn't anything that impressed me. I don't really care for it too much, so I wanted to get that word out. They were a British band, and this band had Albert Hammond in it, who had the big 70s hit It Never Rains in Southern California, and he also did a lot of songwriting. He wrote the song Sometimes All I Need Is the Air That I Breathe by the Hollies. And another interesting thing about this album is there's 6 songs on here. They're cover versions by Rodriguez, and he's a Hispanic cult figure that's gained a lot of popularity in recent years. And there's 6 cover versions of Rodriguez on this album, 5 of which are on his first album, and there's one song that he did not perform himself, and it is what is it? Let me take a quick look. It's called Advice to Smokey Robinson. Yeah, I just cannot recommend that album. I just did not get into it, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep it. But if you're a Rodriguez fan, you might be interested in hearing it for those cover versions. Okay, now we're going to get into my recent finds. And this is the Rain Parade. And they were an 80s psych band, very much into the LA Paisley Underground thing. And this is one of the better bands. They took psychedelia to the heart a little more than the other Paisley Underground bands did. They were a little more garagey. And I actually saw these guys when this record came out. I saw these guys in a club out in Tempe, Arizona, and it was just a great show. They did a long jamming version of Neil Young's Like a Hurricane, which is really cool because they never put that out on a record, I don't think. Unless it's on their live album. I never heard that album. But anyway, this is their second 12-inch. It's kind of a mini album. It's got 5 tracks on it. And I bought this new back in the day when it came out, and I hadn't heard that in a good 30 years, so that was great to hear it. I think I like that more now than I did back then. And so I would definitely recommend getting that. And this is True West. This is another LA Paisley Underground band, and this is their second 12-inch. And it's got all the tracks that were on their first 12-inch, which I'll show a little bit later. And it's also got a couple of newly recorded tracks for this out. It's actually a mini album, and then one of the songs ended up on their first full-length LP. This is a really good band, good band to check out. And this is the first Rain Parade album, and this is just a classic. And this is the original UK with a copy with a gatefold. The US copies just had the standard cover, and then the inner sleeve had this artwork in it. So the UK copies took it a little further and made a gatefold out of it, and it's on the Zippo label. Killer album. You can't even touch this album anymore for less than $50 unless you get really lucky. So definitely, that's definitely one to have. And this is the first 12-inch by True West, and it's on Bring Out Your Dead Records. This came out in 1983. And it's got a killer version of Lucifer Sam by Pink Floyd, Syd Barrett era, and just a really cool record. And this is their first 12-inch, and it's called Drifters. This is readily available. This is pretty easy to come by. It's on PVC. Really good record. And so if you don't know True West or Rain Parade, those are really good bands to get into. This is back to the recent finds. This is one that I got yesterday, and it's Generation X, Billy Idol's first band, and it's actually an 80s pressing. It's not a first original pressing because it's got the barcode. I'd never heard this album before, so I'm not a really big Billy Idol fan, but I went ahead and I got it, and I'm glad I did. I really like it. It doesn't have his real blatant Elvis Presley punky style on this album. It's not as evident, and I really like his performance on this album. It's got a cover version of Give Me Some Truth by John Lennon. They punked it up a bit, and then it's got an answer song called Your Generation. It's an answer song to The Who's My Generation. Really good album, actually. They're a little more poppy. It's more like pop punk, kind of like the Buzzcocks, but I really like that album. This is the first Captain Beefheart, and this is not an original copy. It's a 1970 reissue on Buddha, Safe as Milk. And I had never heard this before, and I really like this album a lot. I have the other one, Strictly Personal, the real psychedelic one. I don't know which one I like this most, but I think I might like this one more. I just think it's a stronger album. And last week Bo got the Boston Tea Party, and this week Ron got the Boston Tea Party. And this is not really quite keeper status for me. I'd like to have a near mint copy of this because I really like this album. But it gave me a chance to check it out. I'd never heard it before. This is a really good album. There's only 3 albums on Flick Disc that I know of. This, American Revolution, and St. John Green. And I've heard all 3, and I would say that probably this one is my favorite of the 3. I don't know if there's any other albums on Flick Disc. They were a subsidiary of MGM. So if anybody knows of any other albums on Flick Disc, let me know what they are. This is Arc 2, Flaming Youth. And this is a really weird UK prog psych album from 1969, and it's notable for having Phil Collins in the band, and he does sing lead vocals on this album. I had never heard this before. I knew that its reputation wasn't very good, but since I came across it and I had it in my hand, I decided to get it and check it out. And yeah, it's pretty flipped out. There's like just weird. It's like a concept album that I haven't really figured out yet. There's a storyline, but it's got all kinds of weird different styles and different ideas, and it's just really strange. Okay, this is that Beatles Butcher cover LP that I was talking about, and this is strictly a fantasy art cover, and there is no Beatles record inside of it. It was sold strictly as the cover. They stuck a junk record inside of it and then shrink wrapped it. It's pretty nice. It's actually got a real slick pasted on the front, like Capitol used to do, whereas my other Beatles Butcher cover counterfeit, it was just printed all on one cover. It didn't actually have a slick. So that's pretty nice. And I never quite saw that picture before. And I think there are some covers of this floating around that don't have these extra pictures at the bottom. So I think that's a pretty neat shot. And I finally got Badfinger Straight Up. And this is their most valuable album. It's from 1971. And I was really impressed with this album. It was better than I thought it was going to be. There's 4 tracks that were produced by George Harrison, and the rest of the album was produced by Todd Rundgren. And it's on the Beatles Apple label. And yeah, the big hits on this are Day After Day, and I think Baby Blue. And yeah, just a great album. The vinyl is pretty clean on this, but the cover's obviously pretty worn. But it was well loved, you can tell. This is Silver Meter, and I'd seen this around, never picked it up, decided to get it. And this is notable for having Lee Stevens, and it also has Pete Sears, who was in Stoneground and Jefferson Starship. And Lee Stevens, of course, was the original lead guitarist for Blue Cheer. And I heard some mixed reviews on this, but I'll tell you what, there's a few mediocre southern rock, well, there's like a couple of mediocre southern rock tracks and a lame cover version of Jesus Christ Superstar on side 1. but the rest of this album is really good hard rock. It's just some outstanding guitar work by Lee Stevens. I definitely recommend this, and it's pretty cheap album. You can get them for 10-15 bucks. Really cool. And this one, I understand, is really pretty rare. It's Music to Eat, Hampton Grease Band, and it's a double album, and it came out in 1971. It's on Columbia, and there's a big write-up in a book that I have. I can't exactly, I showed it in an earlier video that I have. Flipside CT has a copy of it. There's a nice big write-up about this album in that book, and just by accident I saw this album in the record store. 2 days later I was flipping through that book and I came across the review. So I read the review and it was really good review, so I went back to the store. It was still there and I grabbed it. Supposedly this was one of the worst selling Columbia albums ever, right above a yoga fitness LP. Skip Spence Ore is pretty rare. That didn't sell, but this might even beat it. I don't know, or they might be about the same, but there have been copies selling, but it is pretty rare. And just an excellent flipped out album. The lyrics sound a lot like Captain Beefheart, and it's got a lot of Frank Zappa style jamming on it, and bent humor. The book says Columbia actually marketed this as a comedy album, which I couldn't believe because it's really not a comedy album. It's just weird hippie humor, you know, but it's not ha ha ha, it's just more like satire stuff. And just a killer album, man, from start to finish. Double LP. I know Zeke the Vinyl Geek would probably really like this if he doesn't have it already. Good one to find. And then I got Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, and this is still in the shrink, and it's a second pressing. I believe it's a 1970 pressing. It doesn't have the 360 sound label. This originally came out in 1967, so it's about a 1970 pressing, but it had the poster in it, and the poster is what really makes these albums valuable. And I think somewhere in my archive I had this, but I've actually been looking for it lately and I couldn't find it. So I went ahead and got this. It's a beautiful Dylan poster, and so I got it. And at one time I had one of these framed and hanging in my apartment. So yeah, I've seen these posters go for $60–70 just by themselves on eBay. Maybe a starting point for the poster alone would be about $40. But yeah, very desirable poster. That's really what makes the whole album worth money. This I got yesterday, and it's C.J. Fish, Country Joe and the Fish. And I had never heard this album before. It's from 1970, and it's their last album, and there's actually only Country Joe and Barry Melton on this album, the original members. And this is actually the lineup that played Woodstock, and it's a promotional copy. You notice it's got this big cut corner, like, I don't know, I guess the guy thought he was flaying fish or something. I don't know what his trip was, but I think a DJ did that to make the record get in and out of the cover a little bit easier. And it's got, you know, promo sticker, at least what's left of it. And it's got a white label promo label. And I was actually pleased with this album. Like I said, I'd never heard it before. And there's some nice, sleepy, laid-back, light psych tunes on here that I really like. And the high point of this whole album is a song called The Return of Sweet Lorraine. And Not So Sweet Martha Lorraine was on their first album. And this is kind of a follow-up tune to that. But it's definitely not in the same exact style. This is more laid back, trippy. It's quite psychedelic, actually. It would fit right in with their first two albums. And that track alone makes this album worth owning, I think. So I was really pleased to get this. I got it at a really nice price. Nice white label promo copy of that. And this is Goose Creek Symphony. And I'd known about this band for 30 years, but I just never picked up any of their records. And actually the reason I picked it up is I heard they were good, for one thing, but they were a Phoenix band. So I'm really interested in the local Arizona music scene. So I got it. This is their second album. And it's really good for what it is. It's kind of traditional country, bluegrass styled stuff. If you're like a fan of Nitty Gritty Dirt Band or the country styled Byrds, you will really like this album. It's on the lime green label, and I believe it's 71. I think their first album's from 70s. I think this is 71. This is side one, and really good record. And this last one is the Backstreet Boogie Band. And it's Southbound Freight is the name of the album. It's from 1981. And this is a local Tucson band. It's a local release. And I had never heard of this before. And I came across a VG Plus copy for $4 at the record store. And it looks lame. I mean, it just looks really like it wouldn't be that good, but I'll tell you what, this is a great record. Well, not great, but excellent. It's not real boogie rock. It's more like it's got outstanding hard guitar. There's some softer bluesy things. Some of it kind of reminded me of Thin Lizzy. The opening track reminded me of George Thorogood, but it's got smoking guitar on this whole album, and it's got Al Perry in it, who was a prominent Tucson music figure throughout the 80s. So yeah, I took a chance on it. Man, I'm glad I got this. I did a little research on it, and I saw one copy that sold. And judging for what it went for, this would be about $100 album near mint. So I figured my copy is worth at least $50, and I'm really pleased with this. I know Garner at the truck stop would really enjoy this record. Okay, that does it for the pile, and hope you enjoyed it, and happy hunting, and catch you next time.